Tonight, giving the gift of life, the Red Cross blood van rolling into Whyalla as part of a call out for more donors in the Still City. And after much consultation and decision making, Broken Hill's unique gateway signage to be replaced.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Those stories in just a moment, but first, a 29-year-old man will face court after police say he was found drink driving in Port Lincoln over the weekend. The 6th Spencer Gulf resident to be caught since Saturday. Officers pulled over a ute driving along Hallett Place around 3:40 on Sunday morning. There, the Eyre Peninsula local underwent a breath test, allegedly returning a positive reading of 0.138, almost 3 times the legal limit. He was reported for drink driving and was issued with a 6-month immediate loss of licence. The man's Toyota Hilux was impounded for 28 days and he'll be summoned to appear in court at a later date. The Copper Coast Council is out of caretaker mode and re-elected Mayor Rosalind Talbot is keen to work alongside an experienced team of councillors. Mayor Talbot tells us what she's looking forward to over the next 4 years.
The Copper Coast Council has achieved a lot over the last 4 years, and they're excited to do it all again.
I'm really proud and privileged to be re-elected as the Mayor. It's an honour that I don't take for granted. We have a wonderful community and we have great things to achieve, and I'm really looking forward to the next 4-year term.
7 councillors were re-elected with 1 new addition to the team.
I'm waiting to hear what the elected members' goals are before I decide, what I think my priorities are, because it's really more about them and I need to guide them to work together to achieve their goals.
And if you regret not putting your hand up, you're in luck, because Council is looking for 1 more councillor to join the team.
I'm hoping that if we have a supplementary election, that will be a well sought after position, and there'll be lots of nominations and we'll have an election.
Some great events took place this year, including the Copper Coast Cycling Cup. And there's plenty of events to look forward to next year, some new and some old, that have stood the test of time.
Kernowit-Lowenda, our field days. We're also we're hosting the Masters Games again, so we've got the 2023 South Australian Masters Games.
The first council meeting after caretaker mode will take place tomorrow. And remember, you can live stream the meeting via council's website. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
When we think about sought-after Christmas presents, blood very rarely comes up. But this year, the Australian Red Cross has exactly that on the top of their wish list. With blood donations often dropping off in December, a mobile donation centre has travelled to the Spencer Gulf in the hope that locals have some time to spare these holidays.
Will you roll up your sleeves this Christmas? The Australian Red Cross says as we move further into December, many of their regular Metro blood donors are away from home, travelling to see family and celebrate the holidays. To keep up with demand, the Red Cross is calling on non-regulars to step in and provide the life-saving material.
Blood will go to many patients this Christmas, whether it be young mums in childbirth, whether it be premature babies, it might be someone that's been in a car accident.
To fill donation spots, Red Cross team members will be travelling up to Whyalla with their Lifeblood Mobile Donation Centre next week and will be setting up to take donations from the 19th to the 22nd of December. To assist the team, the community is being asked to pre-book a time slot now through their website or by calling 13 14 95. With 1 in 3 Australians needing blood products throughout their lives, the charity says these donors will be gifting life this Christmas.
It's a great time to think about what they do for strangers that they may never meet, and truly are an inspiration to others to come in and make an appointment to donate.
The Red Cross says December long weekends can be difficult for them, with materials like platelets only lasting around 5 days.
So that means we can't stockpile them, which is particularly important as we go into the holiday period and our regular donors go on holiday.
So a donation on the 22nd could give patients more time with loved ones or improve their quality of life throughout the merry season. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Broken Hill's gateway signs are set to be replaced with designs by a local artist. The welcoming signage has been a contentious issue within the community since they were initially chosen several years ago.
A competition was held to determine the design of the new signs that would welcome tourists into the Silver City. But once they were chosen, the community was not happy.
There was a public meeting, 200 people turned up to oppose those signs. At that meeting, Deanna Spicer acknowledged at that meeting she was willing to offer her designs free of charge.
The Mayor says gateway signs are meant to be inviting, something people should be stopping by to take a picture with and put on social media. But these ones are difficult to see from a distance.
So when people see it online, they go then check out Broken Hill sites and Broken Hill websites and hopefully come to the city and have a holiday here. So that's the purpose of them.
Overall, the signs have felt like a disappointment.
Unfortunately, council at the time ignored that, and there was $150,000 spent on gateway signs that had just been, at best, a disappointment, at worst an absolute waste of money.
Once removed, the old signs won't go to waste. Instead, they'll be relocated to a different part of the city.
Look, there's potential for one up on the line of load, also one across the road from the visitor centre. So those signs, when you're up close, look all right. For gateway signs, they're just terrible.
The first sign will be put out on Wentworth Road, with no real firm timeline put in place just yet. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, Port Augusta locals converge on the streets for the annual Christmas pageant. And where the old meets the new, the Central Darling Shire Council creates an app to make the most of the historic landscape. Welcome back. Festive cheer is in the air around Port Augusta with the return of the annual Christmas pageant. Thousands ventured into the city despite the sizzling heat for an evening of fun and entertainment.
Despite the Friday evening heat, thousands of Port Augusta locals descended on the CBD, filling up Commercial Road, Tassie Street and Gibson Road to see a Christmas spectacular finally return, the Christmas pageant. Port Augusta City Councillors led the parade through the city.
A lovely evening. It's been lovely weather. Huge amount of people have turned out. We were quite surprised because of obviously a COVID absence of a few years. We didn't know if we'd get a big turnout tonight, but as always, Port Augusta has pulled out all the stops.
Dozens of floats and groups wowed the crowds, with the man himself, Father Christmas, making an appearance.
It's a beautiful affair, lots of young boys and girls out there waving and having fun, and that's what Christmas is about, bringing happiness to the world.
The Rotary Club thanked 7 Spencer Gulf News for issuing a call for more floats to participate.
They certainly did, so thank you so much for everyone who registered a float. We were a bit worried, first year back down the street in quite a few years, but it was great to see businesses, community groups, everyone get on board.
After the parade, the fun didn't stop as the Twilight Markets got underway at Gladstone Square, where the man in red was there for everyone to say hello.
So Merry Christmas to everyone, and don't forget the 2 Tim Tams and the glass of milk. Merry Christmas to all.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Central Darling Shire has developed an app that gives visitors a unique insight into each of the town's history. A work in progress, the app is not quite ready for download just yet, but should be by early 2023. Joshua Mercer had a sneak peek.
It has been 2 years in the making, and now the Central Darling Shire's Heritage Trail app is almost here.
It's in a beta form at the present moment. That covers Menindee, Wilcannia and Whitecliffs. It's downloadable onto any device, being a mobile phone, iPad, tablet, whatever.
The app was developed by Dr. Bernadette Draish and a handful of students from the University of Newcastle that made their way out to the 3 towns to talk to locals.
They were engaged by the council to actually develop the app, and they were been out here and on a number of occasions meeting with different locals at Ivanhoe, at Menindee, Wilcannia and Whitecliffs.
The research into the Shire's history unearthed some interesting stories, including one that many people may not have heard before.
There's a podcast which talks about the first inland mutiny on a paddle steamer, which is recorded. A lot of people wouldn't know about that, but again, it's something which is being highlighted in the app.
By getting community members involved in the project, it means each of the town's histories has an authentic feel to it.
Yes, it does. So it's just not someone who is not from the community. It's actually having community members talk about their community and their experiences in the community.
The Shire will be looking at getting public feedback on the app once it's up and running. Joshua Mercer, 7, Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. A Port Augusta school adopts a hive of bees. And just when you think Hannah Ewings couldn't have a better year, the Whyalla superstar claims yet another award. Welcome back. Port Augusta's Seaview Christian College is abuzz with activity at the moment. The school has created a new beekeeping program for students to study and learn about the hive and to get some great honey along the way.
Students at Seaview Christian College are buzzing with excitement, getting up close and personal with the new beehive installed at the school.
A lot of learning going on and little apiarists in the making, and we've just eaten some fresh honey and experienced some fresh honeycomb. We've just inspected the hive. We've talked about the brood box where the queen is and laying her eggs, and because we've now inspected the hive for the first time, we were able to put the super on top, and so now we start our honey production.
While bees have a reputation for stinging, it's a stereotype, and the students found the bees quite docile while visiting the hive.
Unfortunately for the bee that stings, it dies straight away afterwards, so they don't proactively go out to sting people. They're only there to protect their environment or their home and stuff like that. So as much as the kids are a little bit worried about it, after they've been exposed to them, they normally settle down pretty quick.
This reporter donned the beekeeper's gear and bravely got up close and personal with the bee colony. The bees are free to travel wherever they want, including to the school's gardens. That means that they'll increase pollination and improve the local area.
The bees will fly up to 5 k's from their home base. So when you relocate one swarm, they'll come out, they do a circle around, like a figure 8 around the hive. Then from that flight onwards, they always know where to come back to, where their home is.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Port Pirie Christmas carols are returning to full capacity for the first time in 2 years. So now's the time to warm up your vocal cords for twice the fun. Because this year there's 2 carolling events to enjoy. The first will take place this Sunday at Memorial Park from 7 p.m, running until around 9:15. And the second event will be at the St Mark's Cathedral the following Sunday, December 18, from 7 to 8:30. There will be special guest artists and a combined choir at both carols, as well as some solo acts. 2 Spencer Gulf footy players have been further acknowledged for their spectacular AFL seasons. Hannah Ewings, after an incredible debut season in 2022, has capped off the year by claiming Port Adelaide's first ever AFLW Best and Fairest. Ewings took out 86 votes on the overall leaderboard, just nudging ahead of All-Star Erin Phillips. Meantime, Port Augusta's Connor Rossi has taken out the 2022 Best and Fairest John Cahill medal. With 138 votes across the 23-round season, Rossi has made the Spencer Gulf very proud. Stay with us after the break. Basketball, croquet and softball. Our final sports wrap of the year with Eddie McCarroll. And a bit of rain here and there today. We'll have the weather update with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. It's been a fantastic year of local sport in our region, with new stars rising up each and every week. And despite some leagues now preparing to wind down for the year, competition is still red hot between teams. Here's Eddie McCarroll with more.
With our local summer basketball leagues preparing to go on almost a month-long Christmas break, some of the players aren't ready to stop yet and are obviously leaving it all out there on the court. Last night in Whyalla women's basketball, Wildcats faced off against the Titans in a spirited match. The Cats' Bianca Gold scored 17 points, locking in the win for her team. With one final push, the Wildcats defeated Titans 45-40. In the other game, two Rapina teams faced off. Unlike a mirror, one side looked much better, Rapina won, crushing their rivals by 62 points. And in the men's, Rapina tried to derail top team Wildcats, and despite Rapina's Aaron Rodgers consistently putting away baskets, the whole Wildcats side rose to his challenge and beat Rapina by 8 points. The second men's match will take place tonight. In Port Pirie Basketball's A-Grades men's competition, the Pacers Blue beat Pacers by 21 points, while the Ducks waddled all over Globetrotters, winning that game 73-56. In the women's competition, the Pacers outclassed Jamestown to win their game 51-44, and the Globetrotters with 49 points just edged out the Patriots to snatch the win. Moving on to Northwestern Croquet. Port Pirie was the home team this week and overall defeated Crystal Brook 44-32. The first game saw Port Pirie's Barry Hutchinson and Lou James take 22 hoops to defeat Barb Russell and Laureen Sanders from Crystal Brook. The second game was much closer, with Erica Young and Pam Pedler from Crystal Brook getting 23 hoops, just one more than Port Pirie, but sometimes that's all it takes to become victorious. Lastly, in Port Pirie softball, Cougars defeated Checkmates 4-1. Amber Steph was a welcome inclusion to the Cougars side, bringing experience and batting strength that ultimately helped get the win. In the other game, Solly Cats defeated Tigers by 8, the perfect reward for the Cats' Sam Burt, who in her 300th game was well in control on the mound. That's it for this week's Sports Wrap. If you would like your team's results featured in our bulletins next year, please let us know through our Facebook page.
Thanks for that, Eddie. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, there was a mini storm in Port Augusta this morning.
That's right, Maddie. The skies darkened around 7:15 this morning. Just shy of 1 millimetre was recorded in the gauges by 7:30. Port Augusta had a little more rain after 9 a.m. and reached 29 degrees by mid-afternoon. Elsewhere, 25 degrees in Whyalla today. Cooper Pedy reached in excess of 42 degrees today, which comes close to but isn't quite the warmest day of the year. That was back in January. That is, of course, unless it gets even warmer tonight. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, 26 in Woodner and Broken Hill, 27 in Kadina, 24 in Adelaide, just 20 in Port Lincoln. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a high pressure system south of the state will continue to move eastwards and weaken over the next few days and will be replaced by another high south of the Bight on Thursday. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. South to southwesterly winds 15 to 30 knots. Seas will be around a metre, increasing up to 2.5 metres in the morning. South to southwesterly swell below a metre, increasing up to 1.5 metres in the afternoon. Partly cloudy in Port Lincoln tomorrow between 12 and 20 degrees. Straight up cloud coverage over Cleve, heading for a top of 21. Partly cloudy conditions around Woodner, 23 degrees there. Becoming windy around Whyalla on Wednesday between 15 and 21 degrees there. Port Augusta will also see some strong wind gusts. Top temperature will be around 23 degrees. Partly cloudy and 22 in Kadina. Partly cloudy in Port Pirie as well, 23 tomorrow between 12 and 19 degrees. In Clare, possible storms in Broken Hill, most likely in the morning or afternoon. Temperatures between 17 and 29 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, starting with Thursday's forecast, a much more acceptable top of 30 degrees in Cooper Pedy, a sunny top of 25 in Port Augusta, 25 in Port Pirie as well, but with partly cloudy conditions, 22 in Whyalla and Broken Hill, cloudy coverage over Port Lincoln, 19 degrees. Moving on to Friday's outlook now, partly cloudy conditions are expected across the board. 31 on the way for Port Augusta, 33 in Woodner. Port Pirie also scraping into the 30s, 28 in Whyalla and Kadina, 23 in Port Lincoln. And taking our first look at how Saturday is shaping up, and at this stage it's looking rather warm. Another scorcher on the way for Cooper Pedy, 43 degrees, and it's not much better further south. 39 degrees in Port Augusta on Friday, 38 in Woodner, Whyalla and Port Pirie, 35 in Kadina, Broken Hill partly cloudy and 32. 31 in Port Lincoln. Some very warm days ahead, Maddie. I hope everyone stays sun safe. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. I'll see you soon with an update. It's back to you, Maddie.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Tuesday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.